Hi there. This video is going to have a look at finding fractions of quantities and then working backwards to find the original amount. Let's have a look at these types of fractions. Halves. So for example, if we're looking at finding half of $52, we can look at quarters. So 1/4 of $100, eighths, thirds, fifths, so 1/5, tenths, sixths. So all these fractions here that I've written are called unit fractions. So let's have a look at finding a unit fraction of a quantity. So 1/2 of $52, so $52 is the quantity and half is the unit fraction because we have one of that particular type of fraction. So 1/2 of 52. So we can rewrite that as 52 divided by 2. So 1/2 of 52, because we're finding the unit fraction of a quantity, all we need to do is divide the quantity by whatever that denominator is. So that would give us $26. So 1/2 of 52 is $26. So let's have a look at this one here. 1/4 of $100 can be rewritten, or is the same as $100 divided by 4. Okay, which is $25. So 1/4 of $100 is $25. Let's have a look at something like this. 1/6 of, let's say, $114. So we can work that out by finding out what 114 divided by 6 is. So 1/6 of $114, and from your work with numeracy strategies, we can just simplify this amount here. So I could halve both of those, so we'd get 57 over 3, 57 divided by 3, and then work out what is 57 divided by 3. Well, that's the same as saying 30 divided by 3 plus 27 divided by 3. So just simplifying that down. So we end up with 10 plus 9, which is 19. So 1/6 of $114 is $19. So these things here are called unit fractions. Now when we go on to more complicated problems, for example, if we want to find out what 5/6 of $114 is, you want to find the unit fraction of the amount first and then multiply whatever that amount is by the top number in the fraction. So let's have a look at some examples. Okay, so we've got, if we look at this example here, 5/6 of 48. Let's make that $48 so we can put a context to this problem. So first of all, we want to find out what 1/6 is. So 1/6 is the same as 48 divided by 6, which is equal to 8. So 1/6 of $48 is equal to $8. Therefore, what is 5/6 of $48? 5/6 is the same as $8 times 5, because we've found out what 1/6 is. Therefore 5/6 will be 5 times that amount, which is $40. So 5/6 of $48 is $40. Okay, let's have a look at number 1 here, this example. So 3/5 of $120. Again, find the unit fraction first. So we want to find 1/5 of $120, which is the same as finding out what 120 divided by 5 is. So $120 divided by 5 is, work that out, you get 24. So 100 divided by 5 is 20, 20 divided by 5 is 4. So $24 is 1/5 of 120. Therefore 3/5, so what we've got here, 3/5 is 3 times 24. Okay, so this becomes 3 times $24 because we know that 1/5 is $24. So therefore 3/5 is 3 times 24, which is 60 plus 12, 72. Okay, so 3/5 of $120 is $72. Okay, let's have a look at number 2 here. We want to find out what 2/3 of $336 is. Let's find out what 1/3 is. So 1/3 of $336 is the same as trying to work out what $336 divided by 3 is. Okay, so I'm just going to run out of room here. So 336 divided by 3, I simplify that to 300 divided by 3 plus 36 divided by 3. That would give me 100 plus 12, which is 112. So 1/3 of $336 is $112. So 2/3 of $336 is 2 times 112, which is $224. That's our final answer there. Okay, 5/8 of $72. We want to find 5/8, so therefore find 1/8 first. So 1/8 of $72 is the same as 72 divided by 8, which we know is $9. Therefore, 5/8 of 72 is 5 times $9, which is equal to $45. So 5/8 of $72 is $45. So that's finding a fraction of a quantity. Now let's move on and look at finding the original quantity. So we have questions like this here. What 1/5 of x is 7. So it's like we've found the answer and we want to find what the starting quantity is. So what is x? What is x? Or another example here. 3/8 of x is $15. What is x? So I've got a couple of examples here drawn out in diagram form to help us see what is actually happening. So this example here, 1/9 of something is equal to 7. So what I'm going to do, or what I have done, is I've drawn sort of what looks like a block of chocolate, if we can imagine that, and it says 1/9 of this amount here, which, if you can imagine, is this block here. 1/9 of that is equal to 7. So what I've done is I've divided this block of chocolate into 9 equal regions or equal sections. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I know that 1/9 of that whole amount is equal to 7. So I've written 7 there. So 1/9 is 7, which means that each of these ninths are also 7. So each ninth is worth 7. So the original amount is this whole amount here. So how much is this whole amount? Well, it is the same as, I've got 9 sections and each section is worth 7. So I've got 9 lots of 7, which is 63. So the original amount is equal to 63. So we were to write that 1/9 of what? Of something is equal to 7. Therefore, that original amount is 63. Okay, let's have a look at another example here. I've got 1/12. 1/12 of something is equal to 4. What is that something? Okay, I can see I've already put the answer in there, so just ignore that there. And let's have a look at this circle diagram. I've got a circle and I've split it up into 12 equal sections. Okay, so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And the question is saying that 1/12 of that whole amount is equal to 4. So, excuse me. So what I've done is I've shaded in 1/12 and placed a 4 inside there. So 1/12 is 4. Here is another 12 here. And that 12 is also equivalent to 4. So if I go round this circle, each 12 is equivalent to 4, which is what this question here is saying. Okay, so if each 12 is equivalent to 4, what is the total amount? So the total amount is, I've got 12 sections, so 12 lots of 4, which is 48. So my original quantity, what is the original quantity? That is equal to 48. Okay, just see if we've got a couple more examples here. 3/8 of something is equal to 27. Okay, so here is my original amount here. And what I want to do is split it up into eighths. So here we go here. So eighths. So each section, each smaller section is an eighth. But what they tell us, or what the question tells us, is that 3/8 is equal to 27. So if you look what I've done in orange here, I have highlighted 3/8. So that whole 3/8 is equivalent to 27, which means what would 1/8 be? Okay, if I'm just looking at 1/8, well, it will be 27 divided by 3, which is 9. So that eighth there is worth 9. This eighth here is worth 9. And that eighth there is also worth 9, which means that each eighth is worth 9. So if I just write 9 in each eighth, how many lots of 9 do I have? I have 8 sections, and in each section there is 9. So the original quantity, or the total amount, is 72. So if we go back to our question here, 3/8 of 72 is equal to 27. Okay, a couple more examples. Okay, number 1 here, 2/5 of something is equal to 28. So what I've got here is another block of chocolate, and I'm going to divide that block up into fifths and then shade in 2/5. Okay, so dividing this block of chocolate up into 5 equal sections, or cutting it up into fifths, shading 2 of them, and I know that those 2 fifths are equal to 28. That's what this question says. 2 fifths of something is 28. So both of those 2 sections there is 28. Therefore, one piece is worth 14, because you want to split those 2 fifths in half. We know that those 2 fifths are equivalent to 28, so 1 would be 14, which would mean that that is 14, that fifth there is 14, and that fifth there is 14. So 1/5 of the total amount is 14. Therefore, 5/5 of the total amount is 5 times 14, which is 70. So our original amount is 70. Okay, one last question. 5/8 of something is equal to 65. Please pause the video right now and have a go at that one. How did you go with that one? Did you draw a diagram for it? It always helps, if need be, to draw a picture to see what's happening. So I've got 5/8 of something is 65. Let's draw a circle for this one. Whoops, wonky looking circle there. And what I want to do is split it up into eighths. Okay, and the reason I'm doing that is because I want to look at eighths, because that's my fraction. So splitting it up into eighths. It says 5/8 of the total amount is 65. So if I shade in 5/8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5/8. So this total amount here is 65. And I've got 5 sections shaded there, which means each individual section will be 65 divided by 5. 65 divided by 5. Okay, which is 13. So 13 there, 13 there. So therefore each eighth would also be 13. Well, the whole thing. Each eighth is worth 13. So if 1/8 of the total amount is equal to 13, then 5/8 of the total amount is equal to 5 times 13, which we know, is 65. Therefore, 8/8 of this total amount is the same as 8 times 13, which is 8 times 10 is 80, plus 8 times 3 is 24, which is 104. So our total amount is equal to 104. Okay, what would be really good is to have a go at some word problems. So what I'll do is the first one for you, and then you can have a go at the second two. So I have 1/4 of a container of juice was poured into a glass jar. So here's my glass jar here. The glass jar, when filled, contained 350 mils. What was the original amount in the container of juice? So if I call the original amount X, it says here 1/4 of X, so 1/4 of X, X is the original amount. 1/4 of that was poured into this jar. So I know that this glass jar is 350 mils. So 1/4 of X is equal to 350 mils. So what is X? Okay, if I just draw a quick diagram, I'm looking at quarters. I know that 1/4 of this total amount is 350. So 1/4 is 350. If 1/4 is 350, then each quarter will also be 350. So my total amount, X, would be the same as 350 times 4. Okay, so if we just quickly work that out, times, we've got T 12, 14. So X is 1400 mils. Okay, so just have a go at the jelly beans example, and then see if you can have a go at the bake sale example, and then I'll put up the answers in a moment. How did you go with those last two questions? Let's have a look at this jelly beans question. So we've got packeted jelly beans divided up amongst 14 kids. 5 out of the 14 kids received 65 jelly beans. So there's our fraction there. 5 out of 14 receives 65. So 5/14 of some original amount. That original amount is the total in the packet. So 5/14 of that is equal to 65. Okay, so 5 kids in total, 5 kids receive 65 jelly beans. So what does this look like? We're looking at 14ths. So if I just have a quick diagram here, and I want to split that up into 14ths. So okay, so that is 14ths, and we know that 5/14, so that amount there, this amount here, is equivalent to 65. So each individual 14th would be 65 divided by 5. Okay, so 65 divided by 5 is equal to 13. So each 14th is worth 13, which means all of these are also worth 13. So our total amount, so if we're looking at that whole lot there, total amount would be 14 lots of 13, or 14 times 13. And that will give us the original amount. So you could work out 14 times 13, that will be the original amount. And then just looking at this last example here, we've got 4 students out of 9. So let's grab another colour. 4 out of 9 received a total of $1,136 after their profit from a bake sale was paid out. If there were 9 students in the group that contributed to the bake sale, how much was paid out in total profits to the 9 students? So what do we know? We know that 4/9, so 4 out of 9, received this amount. So 4/9 of the total amount is equal to 1,136. So these 4 students received that amount there. but we want to know what the total is. Okay, so another diagram here, and I'm looking at ninths. Okay, so ninths, which means I want to split up this diagram into 9 sections. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. And I know that 4 of them, 1, 2, 3, 4, so those 4 ninths there is the same as 1,136, which would mean that one of those sections, which is 1/9, will be this amount divided by 4. Okay, so 1,136 divided by 4. Do quick numeracy calculation. So 1,000 divided by 4 plus 100 divided by 4 plus 36 divided by 4. So that gives us 250 there, plus 25, so we've got 275, plus, what's that, 9. So 275 plus 9, 284. So each of these is worth $284. $284, which means that the total amount is equal to $284 times 9, which you can easily work out. So in total, the total profits would be $284, knowing that $284 is 1/9 of the total. Therefore 9/9, which is the actual total, will be 284 times 9.